I stand before you to reveal a truth many overlook. The winning tick, it is never in the paper you hold, it is in the state of mind you choose to live in. Exactly how to win the lottery. You win it first in the invisible, before it ever shows up in the visible. Every word you speak is a command. When you say, I am a winner, I hold the prize in my hand, the universe knows my number. You send out a vibration that cannot return void. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel the weight of that ticket, see the numbers glowing, hear the announcement, feel the rush of gratitude as your name is called. When you do this, you are no longer hoping. You are receiving, there is no limit to supply. The world may say, only one can win. But the divine current says, whatever you ask, believing, you shall receive. Your subconscious is your silent servant. If you tell it, I always lose, it obeys. But if you tell it, I am aligned with my winning, it sets invisible forces into motion. Do not play with desperation, play with expectation. Buy your ticket as a token of faith, not a gamble of fear. As you hold it, whisper, I am guided to the right numbers, I am chosen, I am ready. Then release it. Walk as if it is already done. Thank the unseen, thank the miracle, thank the overflow. And when the day comes, and it shall, you will look back and know that the moment you truly won was not when you heard the numbers. It was when you dared to believe, speak, and expect the impossible as already yours. That is exactly how to win the lottery. Words are magnetic seeds. Every phrase that leaves your lips carries an unseen energy that begins to shape your reality, whether you are aware of it or not. When a person understands that language is not simply a tool for communication, but a channel for creation, their entire life begins to change. Imagine planting seeds in a fertile garden. Each seed has the potential to grow into something magnificent, but only if you choose the right seeds and nurture them consistently. The same is true for your words. Every statement you make about your life, your finances, your opportunities, and your future is like dropping a seed into the soil of your subconscious mind. That mind, quiet and obedient, receives those seeds and begins to cultivate them without resistance. If you repeatedly say to yourself, I never win anything, that seed is planted again and again until it sprouts as a pattern of lack and disappointment. On the other hand, if you consistently declare, I am fortunate, abundance flows to me, I am always guided to success, you plant seeds of prosperity that cannot help but grow. Many people speak carelessly, never realizing that their repeated complaints, doubts, and self-deprecating jokes are affirmations of failure. They wonder why they continue to experience misfortune, but they do not see the connection between their habitual words and the harvest they reap. To reverse this, one must become vigilant with speech. Pay attention to what comes out of your mouth in moments of frustration or casual conversation. Every time you catch yourself saying something that limits you, stop immediately and replace it with something that empowers you. Instead of saying, I can't afford that, shift to the resources for this are on their way to me now. Instead of saying, I never have good luck, shift to good fortune finds me in unexpected ways. These small adjustments are not just empty phrases. They are energetic commands sent into the universe, instructions to the unseen forces that shape your life. There is a reason ancient wisdom speaks of the power of the tongue, calling it a creative force. The unseen laws of life respond not to idle wishes, but to spoken certainty. When you speak with conviction, when you say, I am destined for great things, you are announcing to the world and to yourself that you expect to receive. The power lies in repetition and emotion. A single statement may feel weak, but a repeated declaration, spoken with feeling every day, begins to anchor itself deep within your subconscious. Once planted firmly there, it grows roots and becomes your reality. The universe mirrors back what you believe and affirm. Speak poverty and you mirror poverty. Speak abundance and you mirror abundance. It cannot be otherwise. Consider the way a farmer tends to his garden. He does not merely throw seeds into the ground and walk away. He waters them daily, removes the weeds, and protects them from harm. In the same way, You must tend to the seeds you plant with your words. Nurture them with gratitude. Guard them from the weeds of doubt and negativity. Whenever fear creeps in, counter it with a spoken affirmation of faith. Over time, you will see the harvest appear in your life, sometimes in ways you could never have predicted. The words you speak are magnetic. They draw circumstances, people, and opportunities that match their vibration. Treat your speech with reverence, for it is the brush with which you paint the canvas of your future. When you master your words, you master your world. Your subconscious obeys clear instructions, and this is one of the most profound truths you can ever learn about shaping your life. The subconscious mind is not a critic, nor does it debate with you about what you feed into it. It does not argue or filter, it simply receives and executes. Whatever impression you give it repeatedly, especially when charged with strong feeling, becomes a directive that it tirelessly works to fulfill. Think of it as a loyal servant standing by your side, ready to carry out every order without hesitation. When you speak or imagine something with conviction, you are handing this servant a detailed blueprint, and it will begin to arrange circumstances, nudge you towards certain actions, and attract people or ideas that align with the blueprint you have provided. Many people misuse this power because they give unclear or contradictory instructions. They say they want wealth, but they constantly speak of their fears of poverty. They long for success, but they obsess over memories of failure. The subconscious cannot differentiate between a statement spoken in jest, one spoken in fear, or one spoken in faith. It simply takes everything at face value and begins to weave your outer life to match your inner script. If your dominant thoughts and words are filled with doubt, confusion, and contradiction, your results will reflect that confusion. On the other hand, when you give it clear, unwavering instructions, repeated affirmations, vivid visualizations, and confident declarations, you activate a law as certain as gravity. You will begin to see doors open, coincidences align, and opportunities arise that seem uncanny, yet they are the natural outcome of the inner commands you have issued. Clarity is crucial. A person who wants to win the lottery, for example, must not only buy a ticket, but also hold a crystal, clear inner image of receiving the prize. That image must be impressed upon the subconscious daily, with words and emotions that match the desired outcome. Saying, "I hope I win," is vague and weak. Saying, "I see myself receiving my winnings, I feel the excitement, I am grateful now," is clear and powerful. The subconscious thrives on vivid pictures and emotional charge. It will take those clear instructions and begin working invisibly, prompting you toward inspired action, leading you to the right place at the right time, and aligning events in ways you cannot consciously orchestrate. Your subconscious is always awake, even when you sleep. Every thought you dwell on, every phrase you repeat with emotion, sinks deeper into that fertile soil. Over time, it becomes a belief, and beliefs shape behavior and outcomes. This is why discipline of thought and speech is so important. It is not enough to wish. You must train yourself to consistently issue commands that align with what you truly desire. That means eliminating idle talk that undermines you. It means catching yourself when you begin to speak words of defeat and immediately replacing them with words of victory. It means holding the image of your success with unwavering focus, as though it is already done. When you do this, the subconscious begins to draw resources and inspiration from places beyond your conscious awareness. You might have a sudden idea, meet someone by chance, or feel compelled to take an action you would never have thought of before. This is not coincidence. It is the direct response of your subconscious carrying out the instructions you have given it. Trust this process, be deliberate with what you feed into your inner mind, speak with clarity, feel with certainty, see your desired outcome so clearly that it becomes more real to you than the circumstances you see around you. The subconscious is your unseen partner, and when you give it clear instructions, it will move heaven and earth to obey. Infinite supply knows no limit, and this truth, when deeply grasped, dissolves the illusion of lack that so many live under. Most people are taught from childhood that resources are scarce, that there is not enough for everyone, and that wealth or success must be snatched away from someone else in order for you to have it. This belief breeds competition, fear, and a constant sense of insufficiency. Yet the moment you awaken to the reality that the universe itself is boundless, that life is continually creating more, that ideas, opportunities, and wealth are inexhaustible, you step out of the prison of limitation and into the flow of abundance. Imagine standing by the shore of an endless ocean with a small cup in your hand. The ocean does not care how many cups you fill, nor does it grow any smaller no matter how much you take. Such is the nature of infinite supply. It cannot be diminished, only received according to the capacity you bring. When you truly believe in infinite supply, you stop shrinking your dreams to match your current circumstances. You no longer say, "I could never afford that," or "that's too much for me." Instead, you begin to affirm, "The supply for this is ready for me now, and I am ready to receive it." These words open invisible doors, for they align you with a higher truth. The energy of lack repels abundance, but the energy of certainty, trust, and gratitude attracts it. Infinite supply is not bound by economy, by location, or by your present bank account. It flows through channels seen and unseen, through people, ideas, and events you could not possibly predict. The only limits placed on it are the ones placed by your own mind. Consider the way nature itself demonstrates this principle every day. A single tree can produce thousands of seeds, and each seed has the potential to grow into another tree that will continue the cycle endlessly. The earth is generous beyond measure. When you plant a seed, the soil does not argue, saying, "I have nothing left to give." It simply responds, multiplying that seed into a harvest. So it is with wealth, with success, with any good thing you desire. The invisible law that governs growth is always active, always willing, always abundant. It is human thought that dams the river with doubt and fear. When you decide to align yourself with infinite supply, you must release the habit of worrying about how it will come. The how is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to believe, to expect, and to prepare to receive. You act with confidence, knowing that the channels will appear. You take steps forward even when you cannot see the entire path. You give thanks in advance, celebrating the unseen fulfillment of your desire, as though it has already manifested. This mindset not only shifts your energy, but also guides your actions, making you more receptive to opportunities and more courageous in pursuing them. Infinite supply also frees you from envy. When someone else succeeds, you no longer feel threatened or left behind. You understand that their success does not take anything from you because the source is limitless. You rejoice with them, knowing that what has come to them affirms that it is available for you as well. You become generous in spirit and action, for you know that giving does not diminish your wealth but sets more of it in motion. Every time you affirm that supply is infinite, you loosen the chains of lack and move closer to a life of effortless flow. This is not wishful thinking. It is aligning with a fundamental truth of the universe. When you live in that truth, you discover that abundance was never something to chase, it was always something to allow. Expectation is a spiritual law that quietly shapes every outcome in your life, whether you are conscious of it or not. Whatever you deeply and consistently expect, you prepare a place for in your experience. People often confuse wishing with expecting. Wishing is fragile and uncertain. It whispers, "It would be nice if this happened," but carries within it the doubt that it probably won't. Expectation, on the other hand, is a confident knowing, a silent inner command that says, "This is mine, it is on the way, and I am ready for it." When you live in expectation, you begin to see the world differently. You walk with a sense of readiness, as though the things you desire are already approaching, and your actions naturally align with your belief. Think of the farmer who plants a seed. He does not bury it and then say, "I hope something happens." He expects a harvest, and because of that expectation, he waters the soil, protects the seedling, and prepares his tools to gather the crop. His expectation creates his behavior. The same principle works in every area of your life. If you expect failure, you unconsciously act in ways that sabotage your success. If you expect rejection, you subtly distance yourself from opportunities or people who might embrace you. But if you expect success, your posture, your words, and your decisions begin to reflect that inner certainty, and life responds accordingly. Expectation is not passive, it is active faith. It is the invisible magnet that draws to you the people, places, and events that match your belief. If you want to win, you must cultivate the expectation of winning so strongly that it feels like a memory rather than a hope. You rehearse the feeling of victory in your mind until it becomes familiar, until it becomes a part of who you are. You see yourself celebrating. You hear the sound of your own voice filled with joy. You let that image saturate your subconscious until it feels inevitable. This is not fantasy. It is the way creative energy works through you. The clearer and stronger your expectation, the faster unseen forces align to meet it. One of the hidden reasons people fail to receive what they desire is that they secretly expect disappointment. They might speak words of hope, but inside they are bracing themselves for things to go wrong. They imagine scenarios of loss. They repeat old memories of things not working out, and those inner pictures cancel out their spoken desires. To shift this, you must begin to monitor what you expect when no one is listening. Do you quietly anticipate miracles? Or do you quietly prepare for struggle? Your outer world will mirror whatever you consistently expect. Expectation also unlocks courage. When you truly expect good, you are willing to take steps you might otherwise avoid. You invest in yourself because you believe in the return. You follow intuitive nudges because you trust they are leading somewhere meaningful. You are no longer paralyzed by fear of the unknown, because you expect that the unknown is friendly, not hostile. This state of mind opens doors that fear keeps closed. Gratitude strengthens expectation. When you thank the universe in advance for what you have asked for, you are demonstrating that you not only expect it, but you already receive it in your heart. That energy is powerful. It sends a clear signal that you are aligned with your desire, and life has no choice but to echo that signal back to you. Expectation is not merely hoping things will get better. It is living in the reality that they already are. When you master this law, you become a deliberate creator of your life rather than a passive observer. You realize that the key was never outside of you. It was in what you dared to expect all along. Symbols and actions unlock channels in ways that often defy ordinary logic, and yet they operate with precision in the unseen realm of manifestation. A symbol is not merely an object or gesture. It is a concentrated form of belief, a bridge between the inner world of thought and the outer world of results. When you choose a symbol and pair it with a deliberate action, you speak a language your subconscious and the greater universe both understand. Consider, for instance, the simple act of holding a lottery ticket. To some, it is just paper with numbers. But to one who understands spiritual law, it is a declaration in physical form. The act of purchasing it is not a desperate gamble, but a symbolic act saying, "I am ready. I have taken my step. I have placed my faith into motion." That single action carries an energetic message far beyond the surface. The subconscious responds vividly to symbols because they bypass logic and speak directly to imagination. When you hold a ticket, a key, a coin, or any chosen item and infuse it with meaning, you create a trigger for belief. Every time you look at it, your mind recalls the desire and reinforces the vision of already having it. This repeated reinforcement sinks deeper until it becomes a conviction. Actions layered on top of symbols multiply this effect. Lighting a candle while affirming your intention, writing your winning numbers on a piece of paper and placing it somewhere sacred, or even speaking your affirmations aloud as you touch the object. All of these are small acts that carry great power. They are not empty rituals. They are ways of sending clear instructions to your inner world and activating channels you cannot see. Action is the evidence of expectation. A person who claims to believe but never moves does not truly believe. Taking inspired action sends a signal that you trust the outcome enough to step forward. Buying that ticket becomes more than a purchase. It is a gesture of faith, a way of planting a seed in the field of infinite possibilities. Repeating this action with gratitude and calm certainty builds momentum. Each time you engage with the symbol and perform the action, you deepen the groove of belief in your mind, and belief is the key that unlocks every channel of supply. Some may scoff at these practices, dismissing them as superstition, but those who have lived by unseen laws know that the universe often responds to what appears simple and symbolic. The act itself is not magic. It is the belief behind the act that moves unseen forces. Just as a wedding ring is not merely metal but a symbol of union, or a flag is not merely cloth but a symbol of a nation's identity, so too can your chosen object become a symbol of your coming abundance. Treat it with reverence, not obsession. Let it remind you of what is already yours in the unseen. When doubts arise, hold your symbol, repeat your words of power, and feel again the reality of your desire. Symbols and actions also keep your focus alive. In a busy world full of distractions, it is easy to lose sight of your intention. But a symbol you carry, see, or interact with daily keeps your vision active. Each interaction is like watering the seed you planted in the subconscious. Over time, the consistent nourishment of belief and action causes that seed to sprout into visible results. You do not need to know which channel the supply will use. You only need to know that channels will open. Your symbol and your action work together as a key, unlocking doors you may not even know exist until they swing wide open before you. When you understand this, you realize that no gesture is too small when done with faith, and no symbol is insignificant when filled with meaning. Gratitude in advance accelerates miracles because it aligns your inner state with the reality you wish to experience. When most people think of gratitude, they think of giving thanks after something good has happened. That level of gratitude is powerful, but there is a deeper, even more transformative kind. Giving thanks before you see any evidence, thanking the universe, God, or the unseen supply for what you have already claimed in spirit, but not yet touched with your hands. This act of gratitude is not pretending or lying to yourself. It is stepping into the vibration of already having received, and that vibration draws the very thing you desire toward you with astonishing speed. It is like tuning a radio to the exact frequency of your favorite song. Suddenly, you hear the music that was always there, waiting for you to match it. When you give thanks in advance, you are declaring your trust in the unseen laws that govern life. You are saying, I know my words and visions are seeds, and I know they are already sprouting even if I cannot see them yet. This attitude dissolves doubt because you are no longer focused on whether or when it will happen. You are focused on the joy of knowing it is already done. That joyful expectation acts like a magnet. People often fail to receive their desires because they are constantly questioning, worrying, or doubting. They ask for something but then watch the calendar thinking, why hasn't it come yet? That energy of lack slows down the very thing they are trying to attract. Gratitude in advance removes that resistance and sets you in the flow. Imagine holding a lottery ticket in your hand and whispering, "Thank you for this blessing. Thank you for the ways it will change my life. Thank you for the good I can now do for others." Feel the warmth of gratitude spreading through you as though you have already heard the winning numbers announced. That feeling is not make, believe, it is creative power in action. The subconscious mind does not differentiate between what is vividly imagined and what is physically experienced. When you fill it with the feeling of gratitude now, it accepts that as reality and begins to arrange circumstances to match it. This is why gratitude in advance works so quickly. Your inner state becomes a blueprint for your outer world, and the universe, responding to your vibration, brings opportunities, people, and events into alignment. Another reason gratitude accelerates miracles is that it shifts your focus from lack to abundance. When you are constantly aware of what you do not have, you reinforce a sense of emptiness, and emptiness only attracts more emptiness. But when you deliberately focus on giving thanks for what is on its way, you live in a mental state of already having. You begin to notice small signs of progress, subtle hints that your desire is unfolding, and each sign strengthens your belief further. This creates a cycle of faith and manifestation that becomes unstoppable. Gratitude in advance also opens your heart. A grateful heart is receptive, flexible, and ready to see opportunities where others see obstacles. When you are in a state of thankfulness, you are more likely to take inspired action, to follow intuitive nudges, and to recognize doors that are opening for you. You may find yourself in the right place at the right time without even planning it. To others, it may look like luck or coincidence, but you will know it is the natural result of your inner alignment. Miracles are not accidents. They are manifestations of a consciousness that has learned to believe and give thanks before the evidence appears. Practice this daily. Thank the unseen, thank the present, thank the future, and watch how quickly your life begins to reflect the power of your gratitude.